his as to how he spends his time. And you will be amazed at the resilience, at the steadfastness, the faith that sustains him. When, imagine 23 hours in a day for almost 900 days now, being locked in the basement, windowless basement, and you can't even determine which direction is Mecca so that you can pray. And he tries to figure it out based on, when he came into the building, he made the left turn and right turn and so forth, and the Atlantic Ocean is to the east, and so this must be the direction. How, when somebody is chained, how they try to make move so that they can pray. And so many things that we all take for granted. Even the fact that, they look forward to the day when they're going to be taken to the court, and they get taken in a van, which is, the glass on that is darkened, and so they have to squint to maybe even see a ray of light. And even in those circumstances, his spirits alhamdulillah are high. So that's what we, one of the things that I've learned. The second thing I have, especially for the judge and for the prosecutors, who are going to be recommending his sentence on the 12th of April. We heard about some of the things, and I would urge them in their recommendation for the sentence, keep in mind the message that it sends to the people all across the world, especially the Muslim world, about the U.S. and about our sense of fairness. We heard about Afia Siddiqui, and I mentioned this thing when we had a conversation with the prosecutors a few weeks ago. You might recall Afia Siddiqui was a young woman who was here, was at MIT and Brandeis. Now, I also recall a young woman, more or less the same age as Afia Siddiqui, and many of us may remember seeing a picture of her. She is a U.S. soldier in Iraq, and when the pictures from Abu Ghraib were released, many of you might recall seeing the picture of a young woman soldier with beaming a smile on her face, with a thumbs up, and the body of an Iraqi prisoner who had been tortured to death by her and by her colleagues, in the background. Now, that young woman got only 6 months in prison. Within the last couple of weeks, we've heard about Haditha in Iraq, where 24 innocent people were massacred, including women and children. And if you read the account of that, it is truly, truly horrifying. One of them was a woman who was pleading for them to spare the life of her child. She was trying to shield the child, and both the woman and her child were killed brutally. 8 people, soldiers, were involved. 7 of them did not even have to face a trial, and the one person who did face a trial only got a demotion in his rank, and not a single day in prison. Now, with that kind of record, when somebody like Afia Siddiqui, who was charged only for attempting to harm a U.S. soldier, is sentenced 86 years in prison, a virtual life sentence for her. And when Tariq Mahanna faces the possibility of spending the rest of his life in a